Okay, so we're here again today with Mr. Thomas Gibson with Med Global Group. Real great company. And Thomas, it's great to have you back. How you doing there today, sir?
Sean, thank you very much. I'm doing well. And how about yourself?
I'm doing fantastic, and I'm super happy to have you back on the show again here with our social media platform. Interviewing, talking to people in the medical industry, and as I had said earlier, I'm a huge fan of your platform that you've got, medglobalgroup.com. I think it's phenomenal. We've talked before, and for anybody that hadn't been on the last calls, Thomas has a platform where people can buy and sell medical equipment, and there's a lot of stuff going on that platform. I'm not, there's a lot more that we can go into, but being based out of Mexico and then serving the United States is a huge benefit for every company that's out there that's looking to expand their reach. And I've been doing a lot of stuff lately talking about expansion into Africa. But as we were talking about earlier, I really think that Latin America is a huge component and probably just as important, if not more important than stuff that's, across the ocean. And there's just so many things that you've got going on right now with this platform. So for companies out there that are selling medical equipment to get set up with you and to start getting exposure and getting, basically getting leads and stuff out of Latin America is a huge benefit for anybody right now that's looking at their warehouse saying, we've got equipment that we need to sell and move out of here.
Yes, and you're absolutely right. And Latin America is a great market right now. It makes a lot of sense for the United States and for distributors and companies in the United States that want to move equipment for several reasons. One for the logistics, and two is because there's four of the top 10 emerging healthcare markets in Latin America, and one happens to be Mexico. So I mean,
Mhm.
it's their neighbor just to the south. So it makes perfect sense if you could move equipment from the U.S. to Mexico.
Absolutely. And there's a lot of benefits and a lot of services. Now, you have a full-time IT staff, right?
Yes,
And
we're a technology group as well.
exactly. And you have the ability to do a lot when it comes to promoting. And I know you attend a lot of the medical shows and you're there on the scene. Um, but you're also doing a lot of things as far as helping facilitate the shipping. So for companies that are looking to do business in Latin America, you're assisting a lot with saying, hey, let us help you with shipping. And you're providing a lot of services more than just, listing and selling medical equipment. Do you want to talk about some of those other services like transportation?
Sure. So we have a shipping API that's built into the platform itself. So if you choose to sell directly onto the website or through the website, excuse me, our shipping API will also give the buyer options of different shippers and costs based, every shipper charges a different cost. And we'll give those options so that they can just seamlessly do a purchase right through the site. Um, if someone's just doing lead generation and would like to have contacts of reliable shippers, or I've helped out several companies recently that instead of wanting to ship equipment across the border on a steady basis, they wanted to open up a shop in Mexico. So I was able to help them out with those resources so they could figure out what they need from a regulatory process or a standpoint to set up shop down here and start moving their own equipment and setting up their own distributorship.
That's exciting. That's really exciting because that's really the next step. I mean, the bottom line is that you want it to get in there, but some of the stuff that we had talked about in the past, and this was on our call and on others, is that especially Mexico and Latin America, in fact, all the international countries, but especially Latin America, they are a show me, don't tell me, right? So when
Mm-hmm.
they come to buy equipment, and I know from being in San Diego and our company starting out there, they come ready to buy equipment, but they're really there to buy what they can see, touch, and feel.
Correct.
So if you're
Correct.
setting up facilities in Mexico and you're putting equipment down there that people can come and see, you are 10 steps ahead of anybody that's here in the States that's not doing that because you know, obviously when they don't have to do the border crossing, that's super helpful. But when they know that they can go to a location and they can see, touch, and feel that equipment, that is going to have a huge, you know, a huge growth in sales for those types of areas.
Correct. And if you can, if you can provide, support and parts for the equipment or products that you sell, that's a bonus because here in Latin America, many physicians or hospitals are very small. Physicians' offices, the purchaser is the physician. So,
Right.
so whatever help that you can provide them and security you can provide them, then you're building a relationship with that client for
That's right.
future purchases. And that's important because Latin America is price driven, but it's also things are changing here
Big time.
big time. Now for the first time in the history in Mexico, private hospitalization outranks public hospitalization.
Wow.
And that's a big dynamic. It's a big drift.
That is. So that is a phenomenal service. You're helping people get a foothold and set up distribution into Mexico. Um, what parts is that going to be like? You know, I guess where is that going to be like in the central part, like below Texas, or what are the ideal areas there that you would set that type of thing up? Or is it based on where the medical companies based out of?
Well, most likely, once you cross the border into Mexico, wherever the remaining of your cost of logistics is probably minor, but you would most likely want to be in one of the primary locations in Mexico, Monterrey,
Mhm.
Guadalajara, or Mexico City itself.
Okay. Yeah.
I think that's where you would, be your most advantage for competition.
Yeah. And so, two things that we had touched on that I just want to kind of bring out, that relationship with that customer, that doctor, that person, like you just said, number one, it's buying the equipment, but number two, knowing that you've got a location that they can come back to get that part, to get that service, or have a way that they can come back and get anything that they need in the future. That gives them a lot of comfort. It gives them a lot of security. And it is another way that you can really establish a foothold into getting into Latin America. And as you know, as I know and you know very well, it's really easy for other Latin American countries to get into Mexico. So
Yes.
if they're Panama or wherever they're at, and they say, "Hey, you got to just go into," like you said, any one of those cities, and they know that they can get right in there, it's also opening up for them to be able to get into, you know, that marketplace and establish not just Mexico but other Latin American countries as a place to start distributing to.
Yes. Yes. Just last week, I was at Expo Med, which is another informal markets expo, medical equipment expo, and that was in Mexico City. So, and that wasn't just, that expo just wasn't made up of local distributors. It had Brazil and it had
Mm-hmm.
Argentina, it had China was there. So,
Yeah,
it's an international marketplace. So
absolutely.
things
Now,
have changed a lot.
yeah, and I've been to that show in Mexico City. Now, did they have another one down there in October, or was that the big one for the year?
No, they have another one. I think it's in Brazil called
Okay.
Hospitalar. And we're also media partners with them. So we're media partners with FEMA, which is in Miami, that passed in July. We're media partners with ExpoMed, which just passed last week, and then Hospitalar. We're
Okay.
media partners with them as well. And we're working with informal markets right now to grow our relationship to a much international footprint with them.
Hmm.
Because
And
they
so,
have several, they have 9 expos around the world.
right, right. And that market down there in Latin America has really developed a lot. Like we were talking about, you know, in the day, some of the maybe what, you know, so when we classify medical equipment from my side, we do it as tier one, tier two, and tier three. And
Mm-hmm.
tier one is stuff that probably should not have been let go, but it somehow did. Tier two is stuff that might be just like one generation behind. And then tier three is obviously stuff that's two or three or more generations behind. And in the day, Latin America would be a place that would take a lot of the tier 2 and a lot of the tier 3 equipment. You cannot move tier 3 stuff really down there at all anymore. Their standards and what they're looking for and what they're willing to pay for equipment has really, really expanded. And, I'm thinking endoscopy right now because that brings to mind a lot of stuff, but we're dealing with doctors, not just in Mexico, but also in Honduras and other places down there. And they want Olympus 190 systems. Like they don't even 180 systems and don't even talk about 160. I mean, these guys all want the top of the line stuff, and they are really, paying for and getting the highest quality stuff that you can get. So that marketplace has really changed a lot, maybe in say the last 5 to 6 years, but it's exciting to see. And from the call that we did last time, you really have a good breakdown on the demographics of these facilities. And if it's possible, do you want to go back in and talk? I think you kind of had a breakdown on the number of hospitals, the average size of the hospitals, but give us a little bit of a breakdown on that Latin American market and kind of who we're working with in those areas.
Well, like I said before, at least in Mexico, for the first time, it's about a 50-50 split between public and private healthcare. But through the Latin American region, I believe that it's about 60% public healthcare, which applies to about 80% of the population. And the remainder of the private healthcare only consists of small hospitals, which is 15 to 20 beds. So just by doing simple math, you can figure out what their patient throughput is. So you can see what their financial restraints or limitations might be. So there may be a market for some of this other tier equipment, like you were saying, that's available in the market. It's reaching these people. It's what's important.
Right.
It's speaking the language that they speak. So, we grew from Latin America, so we understand the culture. Now we're an international company. We're much larger, but we understand the Latin culture and we understand the languages. We can reach. I believe that we can reach other areas of Latin America that haven't been looking at this style of buying medical equipment before. While we were at Expo Med last week and we talked to Argentinian companies, well, they never even heard of Med Global Group or even our previous company, which was a Latin American company, because they were that far south.
Right.
So we hooked up with their organization that covers that part of the industry, and we're going to start promoting in Argentina.
That's huge.
So if I'm sure if you put a heat map from Mexico all the way down to Latin America to Argentina, it starts off red and it starts getting orange, yellow, and it kind of fades away from there. So that's a problem that we're trying to solve.
Yeah. I think you're on the right path, though. I think getting some of these companies set up down there, getting equipment on site, because we've talked about this in the past, it's very difficult to send large sums of money overseas to people you don't know, you've never met. And that's a terrifying experience, especially when you are a small facility and that money might be the only money you've got in that budget. And you've got to make sure you're getting good working equipment from it. And then, there's the other part of it that's like, well, just come to the States. Well, nobody's coming up here without dropping $2 or $3 grand, and then all the paperwork and all the other stuff that you got to go through depending on where you're at and what you need to do to get in here. So, that's really why I like what you're doing, Thomas, because you're really working as an intermediary. We were talking about the transportation, but Med Global Group is really stepping up to protect the consumer. So you guys are making sure that, people that are going on that platform are offering a warranty on their equipment. You're stepping in if there's a dispute or something's getting damaged to try to help mitigate that and address that and try to get that resolved. And so that really gives the Latin American consumer a little bit of peace of mind, knowing that when they're buying equipment off of your platform, that they have a company that interfaces with businesses in the United States. It's going to be there to kind of help them, just protect their investment, because obviously you know, whatever money that they have that they're spending is obviously vital to their, you know, to their ability to take care of patients.
Right. And we have client services here that, are willing to speak to any one of our clients. And we do all kinds of, we have very few limitations of how we try to help our clients. Like you said before, making the connections for them, because maybe selling to Latin America as a whole is not a good option for them. Maybe they are going to seek a distributor down here that
Mm-hmm.
they can build a relationship with and move products to that distributor.
Right.
So those are the kind of connections that, we're here to help. If we can do that for them, we certainly will.
And you know, the other part of it, I mean, we're looking at one side of it, but for me, being in the States and knowing that I've got a guy like you that's based out of Mexico, that's really working on, you know, getting into that marketplace, that's hitting all the shows, that's developing all these connections. That's good for this, you know, for all the companies in the States to know, hey,
Mm-hmm.
here's a guy, you know, that's down there that's really helping to expand and grow into these markets. And you know, like I said, Med Global Group with iMedical and the companies that I kind of am affiliated with, that is definitely your platform is definitely a platform that we're going to be pushing more of our products and services on, because I know from dealing with you and working with you that you guys are top of the line when it comes to um, any of the IT, creating a good working platform. I mean, you're really providing a host of services. So it's good for us on the American side of the border to know that there's a guy like you that's down there that's helping our companies, you know, sort of make their way into those markets.
Well, we're offering a 90-day trial of our premium package. And I think it'll allow them to upload 1,200 pieces of equipment, parts, or services, whatever they choose to upload. And what we're trying to do is to build that network effect, like we spoke about
Mm-hmm.
before, Sean. So the more listings we can build on the site, the more traffic we'll build in his site.
That's right.
The site is geared to grow. It's geared to scale. We just need more distributors on here, and I'm willing to, provide discount plans for them. We'll do whatever it takes to satisfy our customers and show that we have the capabilities to grow and scale, and we
Mm-hmm.
just don't rely on a spray and pray. We're not just we use our technology or search engine optimization.
Mm-hmm.
We're integrated with social media. And as you know, we also develop a digital magazine that's fully integrated with the
Mm-hmm.
website.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that magazine, that online magazine is we're going to definitely have to start doing segments where we just go into the articles, because that is state of the art. There's nobody else out there that has that. You know, I'm kind of a background in sales and marketing, a lot of the marketing, and I have had to do a lot of international marketing through various businesses and things that I've done. And I know it's not easy. I mean, when you're talking about trying to rank stuff in Latin America, you better have a URL that's a Latin American URL, and your servers being based out of Latin America also have a huge impact on whether you're going to come up in search results many times. And the fact that you've got those platforms set up and you're doing that, for anybody that's out there that's, you know, is trying to get into those markets, it's not easy to do. There's certain things that you really want to try to do, which I just mentioned, which are very difficult and time consuming. And it's easier to just piggyback on a platform like yours that you've already done it, you're already doing that. And so that really gives people a big head start, a big jump, and it really reduces the amount of money that people have to spend to start getting exposure into those markets, because you're really doing a lot of the heavy lifting with that platform.
Exactly. And with our platform, you get the search engine optimization. We're we don't we get ranked by Google, but not just in the English language. We get
Mm-hmm.
ranked in all of our languages. So,
Right.
and then one thing about our listings that I know that I don't think our competitors do is that you can choose where you want your listings to be viewed.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's certain countries that you don't want to list or sell to, or if there's certain places that, I only want to sell to Latin and Central America, where you can set your listings to work that way. You can set your listings if you have specific salespeople that speak Spanish and you want those listings, certain listings to go to certain salespeople, well, you can set that up that way. So
Right.
that they only get the messages. Your messages, if they go unanswered on the website after a certain period of time, I think it's 15 minutes, will go to your email. So you don't have to stay on the website all the time.
Right.
So we don't want you to lose a lead.
Right.
That's the
Right.
one thing we want to do. We minimize the number of steps that a user has to take to contact you.
Right.
We're trying to be the friendly site.
I really do like that, and you guys are doing amazing work. We talked earlier. I know you've seen a lot of our videos. I did a call with Chase and Andrea Rincones from A&G Biomedical, and for companies like hers, especially her and Gabriela, Andrea is from Venezuela. And so I always want to see people be successful. I want to always try to do whatever I can do to try to, help them in any way, shape, or form. But, they're a fast growing company. They're doing a lot of great things. They're expanding their markets. But, I had told Andrea, since you're already doing this medical equipment repair and biomed, and you are Latin American, you get connected with Thomas on this platform and you guys can start expanding sales because, as we spoke about earlier, that ability to be able to speak Spanish and talk to these people really puts them in their comfort zone. And I think with that particular company, A&G Biomedical, being that she's from Venezuela, if she starts getting Latin American people that are contacting her that are looking for patient monitors, infusion pumps, or whatever the comfort, those are some of the key things that they're working on now. That helps them get another source of income coming in. It helps them capitalize on the assets that they've got, which in some cases, I'm not sure if even people understand how important that is. I
It
do,
is.
but it's really important. And it's really nice to see that it's a win-win. They're helping put content on your website, and in turn you're helping them build their business and bring in additional revenue and income and expanding into marketplaces that are really their strong spots, their sweet spots, if you will.
Now that you mention her, and I was thinking about her, I know the head of the Biomedical Engineering Association for Mexico. You should connect the two of us, or connect me with her, and I'll connect her with him. One of the things that we're trying to do with Insights is to give the clinical engineering point of view from Latin America, because
Right.
they have a whole different set of challenges that they might have in the US.
Yeah.
Imagine if you're searching for a part and you can't find it in the US, you probably can't find it in Latin America either.
Right.
So,
Right.
so we have future plans. Hopefully we can build networks for the biomedical engineering world so they can share information and make better
Absolutely.
connections. Yes.
Absolutely. And actually, Andrea was going to join us. She was going to try to join us. They just got a brand new office,
I saw
and
that.
they are moving right now, and that place looks nice. Like, it looks really nice. And I dropped in to go visit them a few weeks ago when I was down in Miami, and they just have such a great staff. They have really well trained technicians. They've got a very good organized infrastructure there, and now, like we were saying, they're growing and expanding. So she will definitely join us on future calls, and Gabriela, her partner, I'm sure as well. But there'd be nothing I'd love more than to get them together with Chase and like you're saying, interconnect with biomeds and people in Latin America, because the closer we tighten that loop and the better the communication is, the better it is for everybody. And for that business and that company that they've got, they provide a lot of assets to working with Latin American companies.
Well, that would be great. I wouldn't even mind giving her a page in the magazine if she'd like.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. And then exactly, in the magazine, we can promote, their company and do stuff for them. But they're working super hard, and they've, like with all of us, they've, put a lot of just a lot of stuff on the line to build and start a business. And I know, and you do too. When you say,
Mhm.
okay, we're going to double our space and we're going to grow and we're going to grow, there's that part of it that's exciting. And then there's that part of it's like, oh my God.
Fear.
Yeah, it's like, okay, we're at the top of the roller coaster. We're going to just, enjoy the ride all the way through. But
Mhm.
she will
Exactly.
definitely join us on future calls. So I know we talked today about trying to keep the video a little bit shorter because we do have other stuff that we're going to feature. But I really want to make sure that we do promote this 30 day or the 90-day special.
Okay.
So I'm going to put a link down there. You can send me anything, but medglobalgroup.com. I'm not sure if they go on the site, if there's a promo code that they put, or what would be the process for them to get signed up with that?
There actually should be a little banner that pops up with the promo codes for them.
Okay.
However, it's a very simple code. So registration is simple. It's like registration for most websites. But the promo code is MGG business. So Michael George business.
Okay.
And there'll be a spot where you can plug it in during the registration process, and that'll unlock the the business subscription plan, which is a premium plan. So that plan allows you to have your own store. You can have, I forget how many pictures, it might be 10 pictures. You can add videos to your listings. You can have, I think, 10 salespeople on your store. So it's pretty large. Enter multiple locations. If you have different warehouses, you can put your inventory into there. So we do a lot of functions. We're adding additional functions every week to our platform. We're improving our analytics. There'll be a new analytics page coming out soon that will give you a lot more information about your listings and your ads. And so that'll be good for everybody. But our client services are also there to help you. So they're constantly going through the site and looking for listings that could need a little help, and they offer their help and recommendations how to improve the listings on the site so the presence improves.
Okay, that's super exciting. And then when they're on there signing up for that, they can also sign up for the newsletter for the magazine.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. There's a page that says insights, and on that page you can sign up, and we'll send it out monthly. We also send out information through social media, so people who aren't subscribing, they get a chance to go through the magazine and see the great work that we're doing.
Hmm.
And the articles that are on the magazine, we also put them on our digital magazine that's on LinkedIn. So you can subscribe to that as well if you
I've
like.
seen it, and I am on the newsletter, so I do get it. But that is a phenomenal technology platform that you guys have developed that's very unique just to your company because of your own IT team that's really developed that technology. But it's really nice to get yourself out in front of the database of clients and customers and keep them engaged and give them reasons to come back in. So, and I know that we also spoke in the future, we might actually be doing segments where we're featuring some of the news articles and talking about those. And
Yes.
I think on future videos that we do, we might even set up screen share, and you can kind of take us in the back end and show us some of this stuff in real time and kind of give us a visual on kind of what that looks like. Because I do know that you've also set it up in a way where it's very user friendly.
Yes, we want to keep things simple.
Mhm.
If it's especially for people who are shopping for products or equipment, if they have to go through multiple steps or layers on the website to get to the destination or the equipment that they're looking for, then we're going to start to lose those. So we're going to lose
Mhm.
those users and those consumers. Even like in our magazines, we offer direct lead generation. So if you want to author an article or make a advertisement, instead of having somebody copy down your website or your email address, you can actually just contact that company or that author directly from the magazine. So we're trying to cut those steps down so that we don't lose the consumer.
Yeah, that's been phenomenal. You guys do a great job, Thomas. I'm your
Thank
biggest
you.
fan. I mean, like I
Thank
said,
you.
as a guy that's worked within the Latin American markets, as a guy that's done a lot of marketing and doing different things, that platform that you've got is skyrocketing right now. And for anybody that's out there, like we started off, if you're looking to get medical equipment into these Latin American markets anywhere in the world. I mean, right now we're talking about Latin America, but anywhere in the world, you've got to go to Med Global Group. And Thomas, I'm going to put the links down in the description area, and I'll put that promo code and everything down there. So if you're watching the video, just go down there, click on the links, you'll be able to get to that. And Thomas, before we sign off, is there anything you'd like to say before we go?
Well, I appreciate you, Sean, for all you do for the industry. I mean, you and Chase, I mean, it's just amazing and how welcoming you were to welcome me in and welcome my product. And I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm very grateful for that.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And like we talked about earlier, you got to join us on one of our happy hour calls with Chase and get everybody together. We call it the After 5 Club because we do the calls actually at 5 or 5:30. And since we've kind of shut it down for the day, we're certainly going to talk about industry related stuff, but we're going to have some fun. You get a chance to kind of get to know some of the people behind the scenes that are working at these companies that we probably all exchanged a dozen emails with, but we really don't know that well. And now we can really start having a little bit more fun, network our industry together, and make it productive for everybody.
I look forward to it.
Thomas, once again, thank you so much for your time. It's great to see you as always, and I'll look forward to talking to you again real soon.
Thank you, Sean. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you now.